观众朋友，大家好，欢迎收看本期的最佳方案。在前几期节目中我们向大家介绍了被称之为有着营养之王和排毒生品的单细胞植物小球藻。那么或许有观众会问，小球藻真的有这么神奇吗？那其实呢，在美国有很多的医疗机构和一些医学专家呢，早就对小球藻的功效呢进行了一种系统的实验和研究。今天呢，我们就来看看他们研究的结果到底是什么样的。
Now, there's been a lot of research on the clinical effects of chlorella on health conditions. Dr. Randall Merchant did much research at the University of Virginia on the health effects of chlorella on people who were actually ill and had health issues. One of them was on high blood pressure. Most of his studies were done with about 10 grams of chlorella a day, which would be equal to about 50 of the small tablets. And in addition, he also used a product called Wakasa, which is an extract of the nucleus of the cell. So it's not green, but it has all of the chlorella growth factor in it. So people were taking both of these. And they noticed within 2 months that blood pressure came down significantly. Now, a modest drop in blood pressure can produce a tremendous improvement in health. So even if it was only 4 or 5 millimeters of mercury that went down, the heart disease risks go down substantially. Now that's very, very important because high blood pressure is the major cause of heart failure. Chlorella also, and most important of all, reduces inflammation. And inflammation, we now know, is the major cause of chronic degenerative illness, like heart disease, high blood pressure, arthritis. All of these are inflammation disorders. Well, chlorella reduces inflammation, and it does so because it is very rich in antioxidants. So one of the science studies that was done by the Sun Chlorella Company in Japan a few years ago, and this is a very exciting study, showed that sun chlorella reduced chemicals in the body. We call them inflammation messenger chemicals, or the technical name is cytokines. It helped to reduce all of these inflammatory chemicals, which means that in reducing these chemicals, it's going to help, in a sense, to reduce heart disease, arthritis, and all of the other chronic degenerative illnesses. Dr. Merchant in particular had a study that I find very exciting, which was on inflammatory bowel disease. And these are conditions where people have abdominal pain, they have to go to the bathroom often during the day, they lose a lot of weight, they have fevers, they become very ill. He found that people with ulcerative colitis who took sun chlorella had tremendous reduction in their colitis. The number of times people had to go to the bathroom was tremendously reduced. The bleeding in the abdomen stopped. And when you looked in, you saw that the lining of the intestine looked much healthier when people took chlorella for only a period of 2 months. To me, this was a very exciting study. Aside from that, he did studies on fibromyalgia, which is, I don't know if there is a lot of that in China, but there's a lot of that in the United States, where people ache all over. They have, the muscles hurt, the joints hurt, and they're tired all the time, and they cannot sleep. So that was another key study where Dr. Merchant found that the aches and pains and fatigue level improved substantially after 2 months of taking the product. There have been other studies on arthritis that show that the joint aches and pains also diminish within a few months of being on sun chlorella. One of the key effects of chlorella is on the entire abdomen. Why is that? Number one, it contains very useful fiber. And so chlorella has been shown to improve what we call bowel regularity. It takes away constipation because of the fiber content. Another important thing it does is it increases the rate at which the good bacteria multiply in the abdomen, in the intestines, by a factor of 4. So good bacteria is now one of the hottest important subjects in medicine today. There are 10 times more good bacteria cells in our body than there are human cells. So it's very important to maintain a high number of the good bacteria, but not only a high number, but the right kind of good bacteria. Chlorella does that. So those are the key things that it does to the abdomen. And I already mentioned the studies that show that it heals ulcers. It heals stomach ulcers and intestinal ulcers. Well, one of the studies that was done with chlorella was on memory in older people, and it found indeed that those who took chlorella did have better memory. And this is very important for the older generation. The mental focus improved, short-term memory improved. I was very happy about this because I'm getting older, so I need to know this. Any fiber, any good fiber can lower high blood sugar. High blood sugar is, by the way, I think the major cause of aging today is high sugar. Because the sugar binds to proteins, and then the proteins cannot work as well. So lowering blood sugar even a little bit can have very good effect on us. And so chlorella can help in that respect. The whole field in the United States of holistic medicine, of nutritional medicine, formed because traditional medicine was not dealing at all with subclinical illness. If a person just feels tired, but their blood tests are normal, the doctor says there's nothing wrong with you, go home. If you have aches and pains all over your body, but your blood tests are normal, the doctor says we cannot find anything, go home. Because medicine was only looking for serious diseases. But there is a long road from the time you start just feeling a little tired until you get a serious life-threatening illness. And so the whole entire field of preventive medicine arose, and holistic medicine, to help those people who are not being helped. Chlorella does that. I mean, it's the first thing that my patients tell me who take chlorella. The first thing, my energy is better. And I hear this within the first week. So I use it with every patient who's tired because it helps to improve energy. Every patient. So many of our patients have problems with their intestinal tracts. You know, there's an old saying among, we call them naturopath doctors in this country, doctors that do natural healing, that all illness begins in the gut. You've heard this. So chlorella helps to heal the gut. So that's another reason why it's very, very important. Even if you never take a probiotic in your life, if you just take chlorella alone, you're increasing the number and the good type of probiotics in your body. So it helps to heal the digestive tract. So anybody with fatigue and with digestive problems, I would use chlorella with.
You know, people that lack iron, number one symptom is lacking energy and fatigue. A second symptom, which people don't realize, is sleep disorders. So when a lot of patients, when they get low in iron, they don't sleep well. And when you don't sleep well, you get a whole host of symptoms of not feeling well. Sun chlorella has one of the highest concentration of iron as any plant. So a lot of people, again, back to the vegetarians who do not want to eat meat, which is a common source of iron, sun chlorella is going to be a good plant vegetarian substitute to get the iron that people need. And in common practice, when I see patients use sun chlorella regularly, they do not have problems with lacking iron or iron deficiency. Even in my women who typically low iron or iron deficiency is more common in the women and the females, sun chlorella will most of the time, and when I say most of the time, I mean well over 90% of the time, give them enough iron to keep their bodies iron filled and iron adequate, and make sure that they have energy and do not get symptoms of lacking in iron.
Women's health is very important, and one of the things that sun chlorella helps is providing dose of folic acid. It also is really important for the cervix. Sometimes women will get abnormal pap smears and have problems, and the doctor will say, oh, you need a big procedure. Well, they usually just need folic acid, because folic acid is for rapidly dividing cells and helps heal them. So often I'll start women on some high dose, good doses of sun chlorella and get their folic acid levels up. It's one of the B vitamins. And in the sun chlorella research, they did a study giving women the sun chlorella, and they found their blood levels actually got to robust, really healthy blood levels for the folic acid. So this is amazing if we can give a whole food, a natural food, and have women do some healing on their own. Obviously, I'm a physician. I want people to go to their physician and be monitored. Don't drop off the grid, but take your sun chlorella and go to your physician. The other area of women's health, I think why folic acid and sun chlorella is important, is heart health. Folic acid is an important part of women's heart health. So again, if a woman's diet might not be perfect, at least add in the sun chlorella, 3 times a day, and you're getting at least your dose of folic acid in there.
I see any kind of patient. I see everybody who's tired or ill. I see people that just want to lose weight. I see people that have cancer and life-threatening illnesses. I give chlorella to everybody. I mean, there's nobody who should not take chlorella unless for some reason you happen to be allergic to it, and that's very rare.
看看这些实验的研究结果呢，我觉得还是比较令人信服的，同时也能让人感觉到小球藻确实对人体健康有着非常大的帮助。那么在实验中呢，有一个名词，不知道大家注没注意到，叫小球藻生长因子。那么到底什么是小球藻生长因子？它对人类的健康到底会有什么的帮助？请大家继续关注我们的节目。好，今天节目就到这里了，我们下期节目再见。